So the logic cult that is infested everything and every side, they don't know enough or understand enough, and they feel like everyone's obligated to have to explain things to them if someone knows something they don't, because they are effectively tyrants that control everything and decided that the closet where people hide what they're doing to everyone is okay because the facade that's created that keeps the people who criticize what people are up to is required, even though the whole thing is manipulated and controlled. Well, controlled by what are effectively retards. So nobody knows what they're doing, and the people who do play off that. So it's like the Epstein thing. The Epstein thing seems clean cut to morons that have no clue what the fuck's going on. And the people who run the sex trade and exist in the sex trade and fight for the sex trade and the freedoms they claim to be fighting for, which is just sex trade bullshit. You know, it's the maintenance of the John and the whore communities and the creation of more Johns and whores. It's the exact same tactics the LGBTQ community used to find more gays among the kids. So it's not new what the LGBT people are doing at all, because they're just doing the exact same things they were taught to do, except they're doing it more out in the open, which the fake conservatives don't like. You know, the whatever, the people who are willing to manipulate everybody with everything, because they believe that everybody would go insane if they didn't have that level of control, because they choose to go insane. They choose to act insane as an example of what will happen. The slippery slope facts, but it's like it's not the same thing as a real slippery slope argument, because they create the slippery slope to make sure it happens. If you don't do what everyone's supposed to do, they will make sure you're doomed. And it's not a Democrat thing, it's an elitist thing. And elitists include people who pretend to be homeless to help control the homeless population, so that the homeless population can be good examples for people to see, so that they don't break the rules and stop being good consumers. Everything is set up as a control mechanism by manipulating Johns and whores, because that's the way things run. Hashtag not all. Some people are retards and are being manipulated and, belong to the whore and John community, but are slaves within it. I'm not talking about them. I never talk about them when I talk about the elites. They're literally victims. They've been taken advantage of and manipulated to be used as examples to everybody else, to show what happens when you have that kind of life, even though that's not really, you know, they teach lessons for having that kind of life and not keeping it secret. How about that? Because they want to feel good, exactly like the woke people, that they bitch about all the time. Because the woke people are out of the closet, which is forbidden for all these fake conservatives that run YouTube and man YouTube and influence through YouTube. You know, the moderates and the idiots that think they're moderates uh, use everybody else as examples to why they're, the right way to go. And the whole thing is a circus. You know, you, they it's so there's so much going on. It's extremely difficult to keep up with and wrap your head around. So, and it's by design. The chaos is by design. It's controlled chaos because it's manufactured. So, nobody is outside of it. Nobody, there is no outside. There's nobody who can be free of it. Everybody is reacting to it, involved with it, uh, reacting with it, interacting with it, arguing with it, including myself, so there's no outside. There's nowhere else to go. They say, oh, if you don't like it here, it's fucking retarded. It's fucking retarded. That's not a real argument. You know, well, you don't know. So, fuck them all. Fuck them all. They're going to start a war. It's going to kill a lot of people. The real elites know how to hide around and not get killed usually, which is why they don't like Israel, because Israel's wrapped things up. Same with Russian. Russia, they've wrapped things up. They're not playing along anymore because they can see the signs that they're being set up for destruction by their supposed allies. As an example, to not be religious or not be whatever, not be against the whores and the Johns that run everything. The religion of Las Vegas. The model of how to be and control and hide and lie for freedom. So anyway, good luck. Everybody's gonna need it because there's no sides. There's no good guys. I've been supportive of religious people, but the religious leaders, other than Jesse Lee Peterson, are insane. They're insane. They don't know what they're talking about. So, hashtag not all, but I'm focusing on YouTube. That's where most of them accumulate because that's how things are designed. You know, so the ones that pretend that they're having arguments that are reasonable, but they're not. They're just trying to uh, rally people behind emotion and hate so that they can start a war and so that they can make lists of people to get rid of and show what happens to everybody if they don't obey. Don't obey the slave master of false religions, of cults. So people have got to learn to mind their own business. Vivek Ramas, I can't pronounce his last name right now because I don't have it written in front of me. Ramaswamy, I think, but everything he says is right. You know, I don't believe that he's real. Like the way Trump was. Because Trump became who he was because he wasn't ready. He wasn't prepared for it, and he hadn't planned for it. He was forced to do it, and he used the skills that he had, and it worked. We got lucky in betting on Trump, but Vivek is saying all the things that everyone wants to hear, but it's hard to trust anybody. So the and then there's the whole Epstein thing with the with all the bullshit. If you know actually what's going on behind the scenes with the communities that are in the closet, the Epstein shit is just bullshit. So they're willing to sacrifice anybody in order to keep hidden what they're hiding. And I'm talking about the feminazis. So men don't run anything; they're too stupid. Especially the further up to the top you get, dumber and dumber and dumber. They're just Johns and consumers, and consumer enforcers and business enforcers. The women run everything, so they want to prove that it's better with them out in the open in charge, but without that male stooge buffer, they don't calculate their strategies well enough. When they're out in the open doing things, they they show their recklessness when they actually are able to get what they want quickly. So it's basically turning everything into Vegas, where the kids are just there for sexual entertainment, you know, behind the scenes in secret. Oh, if you see it, it means you're the problem, right? But that's when people start. That's what happens when you're not preparing people to be marriage material by the time they're 13. They end up uh, uh, they end up becoming sluts and whores, basically, or crazy because they can't go with their instincts when their instincts tell them they're ready, when their bodies tell them they're ready. We're actually breeding people so that they're not mature, but physically mature by the time they're 13, and that has nothing to do with anything evolutionary. It's sex breeding. It's breeding people for sex. Because people have these fetishes, and they're fetishes because of how in the closet everything is. Because we know biologically when we're supposed to start, and we're not allowed to be wise enough when we're ready. We're supposed to hold back for some hope of more success and money. For who? For the whores that are doing business along with whoring. They need that money for their economy so that they can have taxes to pay for shit that nobody should be paying for. That's how everything is run. It was exported by the old world to the new world, and all it's done is cause genocide and suffering and exploitation and slavery and calling it freedom. So most of the people on YouTube have no fucking clue what they're doing or talking about. They're one topic ponies, one trick ponies. They react purely on emotion to things. They don't know what's going on with the kids. What they end up doing to protect the kids ends up making it worse for the kids that are in the closet, because the shit that's done to them is insane, especially if they're not good enough. You know, when you're not good enough, people sell you off for all sorts of fucked up shit. So, and that's why society's all fucked up. It puts a lot of effort into getting rid of people who don't feel good emotionally. Because the LGBTQ people are obsessed. The only victims they care about are people that will have sex with them. So, and it's always been like this. The classic cases in the religions are just the closet version of the woke LGBTQ types. So there's no good guys. There's no good guys. You have to create the world you want around you. And it's not by murdering people. I'm talking about help yourself and help those you love. That's it. The human species doesn't have the ability to go beyond that without making things worse. Period. It's just the way it is. Data can be massaged or whatever the hell you want to make it look like people are actually doing good with the things they're doing. That's cherry picking the fucking stats or modifying the stats to fit your vision, your subjective vision. So the shit is fucking crazy. Everybody's fucking retarded. And, you know, there you go. The best thing everyone can do is nothing. Nothing. Don't become the activists that everyone needs to defend themselves against. It's like if anyone had any kind of brains and actually looked close to how Nazi Germany got so crazy, what was going on internationally, what led up to it after World War I, things wouldn't be so stupid and deadly. But we've got a bunch of people who have delusions of grandeur about their intelligence, and they're all over fucking YouTube. They run YouTube. They run the schools. They run the businesses. They run everything. Everything's got to be their fucking narrative. They don't care about the actual truth because they can't handle the truth. They're afraid of what the truth will do if other people learn it. because they've already tweaked everybody to be cult-like extremists so that they can trigger them into war whenever they want to get rid of people they don't like. And who don't they like? The people who don't like them. The people who question them, because it doesn't matter if you don't hate them or anything like that. If you even question what they believe is necessary, or the facts behind their decisions, they call it hate. They treat you like you hate them. They treat you like you're crazy and you're unreasonable and irrational. And every fucking time they're like, "Oh, you were right." They just go to Alex Jones, their stooge, the place where the truth goes to die, you know. Because if Alex says it, then it's easy to disprove because Alex said it. Oh, but Alex was right. Yeah. Well, how is your ability to have any kind of power in this country or world with Alex as your leader? Jesus Christ. Lizard aliens, remember? Lizard aliens? Remember when he was in court with his wife when she was divorcing him and he's like, he's just acting? Oh, he says the truth all the time except for the things I don't want to hear. I just ignore those. Yeah, you do. You're a fucking retard. Good luck. The war that's coming is of your own making. Good luck. I don't know what else to say. I could just keep repeating myself and say the same thing with different words so that more idiots can understand it because people are too damn stupid. Well, what does he mean by what he says? By interpreting everything the way Christians interpret the Bible and Jesus' divinity, even though he's just a man. Just a man. He's a Moses man. He's Jewish. He spread Judaism. What's Christianity now? It's fucking anti-Jewish. Because the Jews are always waiting for a Messiah. And they already had their Messiah with Jesus. That's actually not how it works. There's multiple Messiahs in the Bible. It's everybody God uses to free everybody else. And then the people who don't go along with it usually get wiped out by the weather. That's how God used to work. So what are we doing now? We're playing God. We're playing God because we don't believe in God. Because we're too smart for that. We've been bred like sex dogs. We're too smart for that. We're too fucking stupid. We're retarded. We're supposed to know God exists. And we treat people who know God exists, and I'm not talking about people who say they know that God exists, but people who actually can feel him inside themselves. Feel the Creator. Understand religion. Understand their own religion. Understand other people's religion. We treat them like they're nuts, like they have some kind of disorder, an evolutionary disorder. And by doing so, we've made ourselves expendable. Naturally expendable. We can't survive. And our history proves it. It's not survival of the fittest. It's survival of the slimiest, the wickedest, and the most deceitful. Yeah, logic. That makes sense. It's it's a type of strength. Yeah, let's word things out of context and make it work. Like the woke do. Or I should say wokeism. Because to be awake to the truth is what woke was. But you got a bunch of people, fake conservatives, that want to keep all the shit in the closet and pretend that they're not fucking just a bunch of Johns and whores, supporting the child brothel that literally is the foundation of our entire power structure, because the powerful grow up in this sexually liberated culture. But we have to pretend it doesn't exist. Otherwise, it's too dangerous for them. It's like, Only when you trigger your extremists, like everybody's doing right now. Triggering the extremists. And what's the point of triggering the extremists? To get them to kill people you don't like and take them out in the process. They're suicide extremists. That's what war is. It's a way to get rid of people you don't like. That way there's nothing left but Johns, whores, and the wives and kids of the conservatives that lost their lives in these wars, while you pretend to support them and turn them out every chance you get. Everybody knows the equation for whoreness and other degeneracies. It's trauma. It's trauma and hopelessness and helplessness. And there's always some asshole willing to help you when you're down and out. And they will make sure no one else does. They will make sure no one helps you. So, good luck.